to the game plan that got you there. Run the ball and play man coverage on defense. That's literally what the Ravens have done all year, and they've dominated teams. But then for some reason they decided, you know what, we're going to host a home game, and against the Chiefs, we're just not going to play the football that we want to play.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Feast and Famine. I am the real Kris Mac, here with some of my favorite people, Mr. Chino, Pat. How are we doing today?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
All right, let's get into these topics. A little recap: NFL playoffs, championship games. What'd you guys think? Ravens against the Chiefs. We got all the Taylor Swift we could handle. In the end, the Chiefs pulled it out. Sean, how'd you like the game?
All right, I'm going a little soapbox here, because obviously we knew that the Ravens were my Super Bowl pick. Now they're out, but they were my Super Bowl pick for plenty of reasons. I was having this conversation after the game. Stick to the game plan that got you there. Run the ball and play man coverage on defense. That's literally what the Ravens have done all year, and they've dominated teams. But then for some reason they decided, you know what, we're going to host a home game, and against the Chiefs, we're just not going to play the football that we want to play. So what they do, Lamar threw 37 times. That's the third most attempts he's thrown all season. And those 3 games that he's thrown that many passes, 2 of them were losses. That doesn't win games for y'all. Stick to what works. Run the ball. Their running backs had a combined 6 carries. 6. In an entire NFL football game, they had 6 carries. The Chiefs are the 17th ranked rush defense. They give up 113 rushing yards per game. And you mean to tell me that your running backs get 6 carries and Lamar only runs for 11? Runs for 54 yards and 11 carries? Come on, run the ball. They changed their game plan. And then on defense, in the first half, what'd they do against Mahomes? Sit in zone. And what'd they do? Picked them off. They picked them apart. Kelsey went off. And then what happened? Halftime, they probably went into the locker room and said, you know what? What are we doing? They switched it up. And what happened? They shut the Chiefs out in the second half. But come on. So it pisses me off. Like they changed their whole game plan. That's how I feel about it. And again, I hate the Chiefs, but like they did what they were supposed to do, and that's why they won the game. So
Yeah.
we think that.
Well, Sean, I couldn't agree more. Unfortunately, the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff just did not do right by Lamar in that AFC Championship game. You just said it. They ran the ball 16 times total. I think they were the number 2 rushing offense in the NFL. What worked so well previously in the postseason were those Lamar design runs, and then they ran off of that, and we just didn't see that at all in that football game. Lamar had some early success. You said it, 54 yards. I think that was all in the first half mostly. And then just pass. Just moving away from your strength never seems to work out, and especially doing it in the playoffs. When you try to follow a team and play their game, it never works out. As far as the Chiefs go, they do it again. And we just see it over and over and over again. A strong run game, good offensive line, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. But also, Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. Andy Reid is obviously awesome. He's one of the best offensive minds that we've ever seen. These 2 coaches have been together. They were together in Philly from 99 to 2006. And then Spags has been the D coordinator since 2019, which the Giants fired him. Huge mistake by the Giants getting moves ever. But Spagnuolo is a terrific game planner, and he's great at finding ways to defeat his opponent. So I think that's exactly what he did with Lamar. He found ways to make the game very, very difficult for him, and in the end, the Chiefs just came out on top.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say, like, you know, athletes listen to chatter and the media and stuff. You know, you had everybody on ESPN talking about, you know, is Lamar a top-ranked quarterback in the NFL? And you're going against, you know, the guy, Patrick Mahomes. He's done it so many times. I mean, to both your guys' points is like, why switch up from what got you there in the first place? It's like, I don't know. You're super athletic running quarterback who can pretty much gain yardage whenever you start running out the pocket. Like, do that. Just do that. Just do that. And you know, to your point, Sean, the defense played much better in the second half to the point where, like, the Chiefs were basically shut out. So, I don't know. I don't want to say, you know, it was a choke job by the Ravens, but they definitely, I think, when the lights got super bright and they had to, you know, pull it out, put the clamps on, they weren't able to do it. So, here we are. We get another Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and they're a rematch basically from a few years ago against the 49ers. Pat, please tell me what your thoughts were about this NFC Championship game, because me personally, I was all on the Niners Ravens Super Bowl, to be honest, but looks like we're not going to get it.
It hurt a little bit, honestly. It looked like we were going to have that dream matchup, the 49ers and the Ravens, something new, no longer the Chiefs, which would have been fun. But, you know, the Chiefs keep getting it done, so all the power to them. The NFC Championship game pained me a little bit. To see the Lions play so extremely well and do everything right and not be able to come away with a victory really, really hurt. I think, unfortunately, Dan Campbell did make that wrong decision, and he should have taken the 3 points. I'm okay with that. Dan's been telling us that ever since he became the head coach. In the near future, he'll do it again, and it'll work out for him. Great coach, great guy, really, really has his players playing for him. I think Jared Goff has found his home in Detroit. The fans there absolutely love him. I think he's playing great football. It's just really cool to see that if you find someone that's really talented and put him in the perfect place, they could really, really exceed and basically exceed expectations. But as we all expected, Christian McCaffrey and the San Francisco 49ers offense was just too much for the Detroit Lions to handle. I think McCaffrey had, another 2 touchdowns. The guy just seems like an unstoppable force. If it's running the football, catching it in the backfield, he's just going to get it done. Unfortunately, the 49ers won this one. Even though I picked them, I was really rooting for the underdogs, the Detroit Lions. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, another frustrating game where a team literally could put the nail in the coffin and just go to the Super Bowl. Which, again, we talk about the Lions. You know, they won their first playoff game, 30 years? First playoff game in 30 years? And they had the opportunity to now go to the Super Bowl for the first time, ever. So, one thing I'm going to say, I'm not going to take anything away from 49ers because you make a lot of good points around, you know, CMC is... He could arguably be the MVP. Obviously, you know, Lamar, I feel, is going to run away with it. But, you know, CMC is the MVP of that team. And I don't want to take anything away from that. But a couple things I would just point out is, like you said, yes, Dan Campbell, I think he's going to have a great future. You know, AP reminds me of that same culture-changing type head coach. And I think it's going to be sustained for a long period of time. Yes, I agree that, you know, he's done it all year. That first time where he didn't take the points and they didn't get it. But then later in the game where you could have tied the game when there's only, less than 3 minutes left in the game, where you could have tied the game. And everyone always says it. You don't want to give the Chiefs the ball back. Or you don't want to give the Niners the ball back. But same thing, you don't want to give anyone that has that good team the ball back in the playoffs. You don't want to do that. So I think Dan Campbell lost the game at the end. But I think throughout that game, what we saw is a similar story where in the first half, the Lions had 21 carries for 148 yards. First half. Second half, they had 8 carries. What are we doing? Yes, Jared Goff, he has found his home. I agree. He has settled in. I said it the last time. I apologize for thrashing Jared Goff, but come on, man. Stick to what is working. You were pounding the rock with both running backs. It's like thunder and lightning. 21 carries for 148 yards in the first half, and then in the second half you have 8 carries? What are we talking about here? Montgomery was averaging 6.2 yards per carry. Feed him the rock. And then, let Jared Goff get his passes in here and there. But come on, stick to what we're doing. Stick to what was working. You essentially had the opportunity to put the nail in the coffin. But then in the second half, you come out flat. And you just change your game plan. Which you let the 49ers just hang around. And we all know this, when you let good teams hang around, what are they going to do? They're going to make plays. You mentioned CMC. We saw it against the Packers. Same story. Packers let the Niners hang around, and then what happened? Second half, they started feeding the monster, and he had 2 touchdowns late in that game. Same thing here. You let them hang around, and the Niners said, you know what? We're going to make an adjustment. We're going to run the ball because that's what we do very well. CMC did what he's supposed to do, looking like an MVP. So again, I don't want to take anything away from the Niners. Great comeback. Purdy was phenomenal. CMC, obviously. Debo was on point. But the Lions gave the game away. Come on. You had the chance to go to the Super Bowl first time ever. Like, come on. Both these games, same thing. Stick to what got you there. Crazy.
Exactly.
Now I'm on my soapbox.
You sure? You got anything else? You got any more juice you want to throw out there?
I do have a little juice. So one thing that drives me crazy about these offensive game plans, so these teams that go into halftime leading and then come out in the second half and they go to this base run offense that's just so generic and they're not creative at all with getting the ball into their running back's hands are driving me crazy. They come out with and abandon their game plan that they had that was working. And then it's just they stop the run, stop the run, stop the run, punt, stop the run, stop the run, punt. And before you know it, the game's back a close game again. So I just want to see a little more creativity when a team is up and try to, put your foot on their throat, end the game.
I was watching an interview. I was watching an interview when we announced AP as the head coach, and we announced that we hired the GM from the Chargers, Telesco, which I love to hire. Shameless plug. But one of the reporters had asked AP, like, oh, did you guys talk about when we put 63 up on the Chargers in the regular season? And it made me think about what you just said, because AP said during that game, going into halftime, we were up big. We were destroying them. But guess what he said? He said, we're going to keep our foot on the pedal. We're not going to stop. We're not going to change anything. We're going to try to score as many points as possible. So, you think about, that's regular season. We're thinking about regular season game. You think about, again, you Lions, you won your first playoff game in 30 years. You're at home. A chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Right there.
Most teams do not fathom. It's right there in front of you, and you're beating the brakes off the team that everyone has picked to win. But like you said, in the halftime, they come out with this basic offense and just change what they were doing. Like AP said, we're gonna keep our foot on the gas. Why not? Hey, we're up big. Let's go up even more. Let's choke the breath out of them. Let's beat the brakes off of them at home and prove a point. What are we? Is there like a secret society of like, hey, we gotta be respectful. We don't want to blow anyone. We don't want to blow anyone out and make fun of it. No, fuck sportsmanship. Chance to go to the Super Bowl again. Teams do not get this opportunity. And I'm saying this, Raiders fan. Look, we haven't won a Super Bowl since the '80s. We haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2001. Like, what are we talking about here? Mm-hmm. All right, now I'm done.
All right, nice. Yeah, I mean, not enough teams like take that that position of like, all right, we're gonna put our foot on your neck and just never take it off, and not to. I hate to reference them because I hate them so much, but Patriots and all of their championship wins throughout the years, scores would be lopsided and they're just like destroying teams, and Belichick's motto is always like, nope, we can't give them any opportunity, any life to come back. And, we saw it in the case of the Lions. Quick pivot, only because, you brought up the Chargers, Sean. And Pat, we were talking about this one of our last recordings. What do you guys think about Jim Harbaugh coming back to the NFL? Throwing you a little curveball.
I love it. He's going to be a great coach. He's going to be successful there. I think it's going to be a really, really difficult divisional race now with him as the head coach over there. He's got a lot of talent all over the field already in place. I think they really just needed a leader and a good coach, and he's going to bring with him, I believe, his defensive coordinator from Michigan, if that's correct. I'm not sure who's going to run the offense as of yet, but it's just, there's too much talent on that squad already to give them that good of a head coach. And Sean, good luck in that division. Yeah,
Sean, as our resident AFC West aficionado, you got the defending Super Bowl champions in the Chiefs, and now you got the Chargers, the underachieving Chargers, getting basically a superstar head coach. What are your thoughts on your division now?
Here's what I'm gonna say. Y'all about to get me on the soapbox here.
Do it.
All right, Jim Harbaugh, great coach. I would have loved for him to be the Raiders coach. Obviously, in the situation that we were in, AP was the guy, and he had to be the guy. The players just love him. Just culture-wise, we had to keep that way. If it wasn't AP, then I would have taken Harbaugh all day, every single day. He's a great coach. He wins at every single level. This is what it is. But what I'm going to say about this is, yes, it is going to be a tough division, but this division's always been tough. Even though we've been bad. And yes, we have been bad. But if you look back at prior years, this division's always been tough, no matter who the head coaches are, because all these teams hate each other. And when I speak specifically of the Chargers, that's all well and good. But guess what? They're not going to have any home games against us like they haven't had for many years. When we go to LA and play the Chargers, it's blacked out. It's an extra home game for us. Okay? So, listen, listen.
For now.
It's going to be the same story. All right? It's going to be the same story. We're going to be out there. Okay? And listen, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the Chargers. Herbert is a great quarterback. He's got a great wide receiver. I don't know what they're going to do at the running back position. Are they going to pay him? Are they not going to pay him? If they don't pay him, then what? You going to give the ball to Kelly? No. You're going to have to draft somebody or sign somebody. Something's going to have to happen. So I don't know what Harbaugh's going to do.
There's this kid, Blake Corum, that's coming out, I think. He played for a pretty popular college. Remember where he played? Oh, Michigan. Sorry, John.
Listen, we'll see. Again, my point is, our division's always been tough. And this is biased, but I feel like our division is the toughest division in the NFL. Obviously, we have the Chiefs there. The Broncos are not going to be bad forever. Yes, it's going to be a tough division because we got a lot of good head coaches on every single team, and every single team is going to be very strong from a player perspective. So I look forward to the challenge, but I still think that I'm worried about the Chiefs. That's from a Raiders perspective, fan. I'm worried about the Chiefs. Can we either split or beat the Chiefs every single year? That's the challenge.
Hey,
yeah, Harbaugh, great coach.
All I know is it's going to be a shootout for sure, and AFC West is going to be a division to watch. So back on track. Playoffs. What do you guys? How are we looking as far as our picks go? And what are you guys thinking about our Super Bowl predictions? Pat, let's start off with you.
Alrighty, so just a quick update on the playoff pick recap. We had a week off. So this is pretty insane, but Kris at 8-4, Pat at 8-4, Sean at 8-4. There is a three-way tie at the top of our playoff picks. Oh man, this is insane. Obviously, Kris had the amazing pick earlier in the postseason that set him apart from us. Sean picked the Chiefs over the Bills. That was different from me and Kris, and then I picked the Chiefs over the Ravens. So it's all square going into the Super Bowl. So, it's coming down to this.
All right. Well, here we go. Last pick of this 2023-2024 playoff season. We'll go with you, Sean. Super Bowl pick. Who you got?
Wait, we're not gonna pick the Pro Bowl? I'm just kidding.
If you want to, we can pick the dodgeball winner. I think that has happened already, right?
No, it's flag football Pro Bowl. Okay. But all jokes aside, so Super Bowl pick. This is gonna hurt, but I'm just gonna be spitting facts here. Yes, I am loyal to my Raiders till the day I die, but we got to be realists here. The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, and we all got to be okay with that. Okay, we can all just pause for a second. Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, and we got to be okay with that. Okay, so all I'm going to say is, listen, the reason the Chiefs are going to win is because they have arguably the closest thing to the GOAT at quarterback. And it hurts me to say that, but Mahomes just wins, man. He's been winning since he came into the NFL. His playoff record is 14-3. He's been to AFC Super Bowl or bust every single season he's been in the NFL. They're getting hot at the right moment. Like, throughout the season, everybody's like, oh, man, the Chiefs are different. Like, they're not, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They lead the league in drops. The receivers ain't catching the ball. Guess what? They got Patrick Mahomes, and they have Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce's getting hot right now. The Niners gave 97 yards and 9 catches to the rookie Laporta. So what do you think they're going to give to Kelce? Sounds like a same song to me. The Niners, like we said, they let the Lions run all over them. Pacheco, New Jersey native, he's going to be able to get his numbers. He's going to be able to eat. And then on the defensive side, to your point, Pat, Spagnuolo is a game planner, man. And guess what? The Chiefs, they play man majority of the time, and they are going to bring pressure. And guess what? Spag is going to bring pressure on Purdy. And as we've seen, no offense to Purdy, but as we've seen, if you put pressure on him, problem. There's going to be a problem. So I think Spag game plans, they put pressure on him. Chris Jones is legit. He's going to be a problem. He's going to get paid his money after this season, whether it's the Chiefs or the Raiders. But again, main topic here is they got the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's not even close. Like the numbers he put up against the Ravens, which was the number one defense. Look, he went 30 for 39, 241 yards, touchdown. His QBR was 91.1, and he had a rating over 100 against the number one defense. So, again, I'm all over the Chiefs. I think it's going to be too much. I have them winning the game 27-22.
Pat, what do you think?
Sean, I really, really like where your head's at today. I am also on the Chiefs. I think the 49ers playing their best game is the better team, but I think the Chiefs are just gamers, and they know exactly what they're getting themselves into, and they've been here before, and they have the better coaching staff, and they have the better quarterback, and their strengths line up really well with the 49ers' weaknesses, which Sean just touched on. I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to come out and run the football extremely hard, and they're going to do exactly what you just said, work the run and work the tight end, run and tight end over and over again, and once they start stopping it, then they'll work in the receivers and all that other stuff. But Mahomes is so good at just picking his poison and finding ways to beat you. It just happens over and over and over again. Unfortunately, I love Brock Purdy. He was my fantasy quarterback this year. He won me a championship. But in the playoffs, he's been having a tough time early in football games where he's making a lot of turnover-worthy plays. A lot of these throws that he's throwing in the tight windows and tight coverage are almost interceptions, and I think he's going to have at least one of them this game. He's going to have to use his legs, or else he's going to be throwing in a tight coverage all day. I am on the Chiefs. I like them 31-27 over the 49ers.
I don't know. This is tough because we're at a 3-way tie. So if we're all on the Chiefs, then nobody is the victor of our playoff predictions.
Wait, we don't have a tie. We have to have a tiebreaker.
We got to go to points differential.
We'd have to go to points. But don't worry. I am actually gonna go against the grain. Listen, I agree with everything both of you just said. Okay, Mahomes is him. Okay, he is that guy. He is the closest thing to the GOAT that we have playing today in the NFL. Probably is gonna win, Super Bowl MVP and another Super Bowl. However, if we're just going off of team construction on paper and on the field, the Niners overall have a better football team, top to bottom. From wide receiver, running back, offensive line, defensive line, they're stacked across the board. Yes, Brock Purdy has not looked great, and I even said it on a previous pod. The guy does not throw the ball more than 15 yards, okay? And when you're asking him to put the game on his shoulders and make plays down the field, he's shown that he struggles, okay? They're a little bit banged up at wide receiver, but my personal feeling is that it's going to be a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey. Because let's be honest, that man should be the MVP. He is the best running back in football. He can, get the job done catching out the backfield. He can do it running between the tackles. To Sean's point earlier with the championship games, if you do what you did to get there, you should win the game. And if the Niners decide, hey, what we're going to do, heavy dose of CMC and just pick and pop right there, I think they'll be able to control time of possession and win at a very tight margin of I'm going to go 24-17 49ers. Hey, and plus, I am going against the NFL conspiracy that they want Taylor Swift to do the halftime show next year, which is why they keep flashing over to her every single time the Chiefs do anything. We got. I'm trying to break the narrative. Let's break the narrative here. The NFL is not scripted, okay? The 49ers should win this game.
The NFL, to each his own. The NFL is scripted. We can talk about that at a later date, but they're showing Taylor Swift. There's money at a very high level that is involved with why they do what they do. Mm-hmm. She's bringing revenue to the NFL. I think the last time I saw it was like $300+ million of revenue has been brought in to the NFL just based off of Taylor Swift going to however many NFL games.
How do you quantify that number?
Sure, on TV, it's TV marketing.
Yeah.
So that's why they show her all the time. That's why they pan off to her, because you think about it, Swifties is a real thing.
Yeah,
of course, Swifty is a real thing, and Swifties is a very unique demographic in the sense of it's not just adults; it's younger kids too. So now you imagine all those younger kids, all those Swifties that probably never watched a football game ever. Guess what they were watching every Sunday? They're watching Chiefs games.
Yep.
So you're bringing eyes to the television. You're bringing more people watching. Mm-hmm. So from a TV perspective,
they probably all bought Travis Kelce jerseys.
Yep, exactly.
Jerseys. Went to games. They bought packages, like television packages, so that they can watch those games if they don't live in Kansas City.
Previously untapped market.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So, do I feel the NFL scripted? Yes. Do I feel like the NFL wants the Chiefs to win? No. They want money, and money is what you got. You got the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, which I don't know if y'all saw videos. Christian McCaffrey's mom said they can't even afford suite boxes at our stadium. So people are going to pay for them. Trust me, those seats are going to be filled. Every seat's going to be filled. Every suite's going to be sold out. Money is going to be made no matter what. And you add in the dynamic of now at the Super Bowl, you're going to have Taylor Swift there at the Super Bowl, and you're going to show her constantly on television. Money. The green.
Money.
That's what the NFL is about. It's green. Yes, it's a sport, but at the end of the day, it's entertainment. And you show one of the most influential characters in our society right now.
One of the biggest pop stars alive.
It's money.
Money.
So, yeah.
All right, enough about these Swifties. We're pivoting. We're going NBA. Recent power rankings have come out. I'm excited. I'm gonna hold my excitement back. But what do you guys think about the top teams in the NBA right now and where they're sitting? Pat, give me your thoughts.
So the three of us shared the same list that had the New York Knicks as the number one team in the NBA, and I'm here for it. I love it. I couldn't be more excited. They've won 9 in a row without one of their best players for I think half the games. I was a little skeptical of what was going to happen when Randall went down. I was worried. I didn't know where the scoring was going to come from, but so many people are stepping up. It's so encouraging to see. Dante, Josh Hart, McBride is shooting the three like nobody's business. And obviously, Jalen Brunson is amazing. Like, we had the conversation about him being a superstar a couple weeks ago, and it's so clear that he is. He means so much to the city of New York right now. New York means so much to him. He was in tears when they were chanting MVP for him the other night. The day that they announced him as an all-star, he dropped 40 or 50. He's playing out of his mind right now. One thing that I did notice over the last couple days that I was a little concerned about. So the Knicks, I thought they needed another scoring piece. I see that there are complementary pieces that can score the basketball, and they're putting them up. But I'm a little bit worried about the inside. Hartenstein's doing his thing. He's playing well. Jericho Sims playing pretty well. He's athletic but very limited. I saw that Steven Adams trade to the Houston Rockets, and it just jumped out at me to just like such a huge piece that would have been so perfect for the Knicks. Give up Grimes and a handful of picks, and then we don't have to worry about Mitch coming back at the end of the year and getting ready for the playoffs. Or what if Julius Randle doesn't come back in 100% form? Because Steven Adams could have done a lot of those things in the middle, and then we could have gotten that perimeter scoring still. But still, I do want to say I'm so happy to see the Knicks playing extremely well. I think they're poised to make a run. But one thing I do want to say about that list, I saw the Cavs were up there way too high. I know they're a very talented team. I love what Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen are doing over there. But I don't really think they have any business being above the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. Sean, what do you think?
Nick Orbackers. Yes, we have arrived. The Knicks fight, man. Brunson is legit. We've talked about it in the past. He is a superstar at this point. Like, he just fits the mold. Gritty, fights. OG trade was perfect. It's a perfect piece that we added to the team. And to your point, everyone's stepping up. Hart had his first triple-double the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone's starting to step up. DiVincenzo had a career high of 9 threes in a game the other day. So I think everybody knows their role, which, I want to give credit to the head coach. Like, yes, we have a rotation where only a certain number of folks are playing. Fournier never touches the floor, which it's funny to me. But he talks all this trash in the media, but he just sits on the bench and just enjoys it. So he's never going to play. When the playoffs come, he's still not going to play unless something drastic happens. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, the Knicks are legit, man. I think, Pat, to your point though, my fear, like I said it before, I'm not a big fan of Julius Randle, but won games without Julius Randle being in the lineup, which kind of semi-proves my point just a little bit. But to your point, like, come playoffs, unfortunately, yeah, we are going to need Randle. We are going to need Mitchell. Where are we going to replace that if they don't come back 100%? Like, that's going to be the problem. And I said that last time when we were talking about it. When we got OG and we lost Barrett, like, scoring output, yes, it's all well and good in the regular season, but when it matters, when we're in the playoffs, when we're playing against top-notch teams over and over again, the series, where's that going to come from? That's my only fear. Like, we're killing it right now, and I love it. But I just feel like there still need that one piece that's missing. Outside the Knicks, I think with the Embiid getting hurt, I think the Sixers are a lottery team now. Yes, Maxey is great, and he's going to be a problem for years to come. But outside of him, they don't have anybody. And if you look at those power rankings, what they dropped about 11 points down, because, yes, you took the MVP off the team. He's not playing. And guess what? He's not going to win MVP because of that damn 65 rule, which I got some mixed emotions about that after I've had some time to process it even more. But he took the MVP off that team. They may not even make the playoffs, depending on when Embiid comes back. But the Celtics they're legit. I think there were 3 on the list. I look back at that trade that they made for KP. Like, that trade was huge for them. He fits perfectly into that dynamic of a team. He's averaging 19.7 rebounds a game. He's hitting 50% from the floor. He's hitting 35% from 3. Like, we talked about that when he was on the Knicks. Like, if he was healthy, he would dominate. And guess what? He's doing that for the Celtics right now. So they're a team to fear. The Clippers are legit. I was talking about James Harden the other day. They have a solid squad, top to bottom. They have a good rotation. They got a good mixture of veterans. They're going to be a problem in the West. Hot take. I could see them beating the Nuggets and going to the West, going to the finals. Yes, hot take. The Nuggets are the Nuggets. They have Joker. I would say my last point I'll make. You mentioned the Cavs. I feel like they're a sleeper team. I said previously on one of the episodes that they were banged up. They didn't have Garland, which I'm a huge fan of Garland. They didn't have Mobley, but Mobley's back. Garland is questionable. He's going to be back in the next couple games. Jared Allen is playing out of his mind, averaging double-doubles, double-double machine right now. If they could get healthy, we have a problem on our hands. Because Mobley can average double-double, and you combine him with Jared Allen in that front court, and then you have Garland come back healthy, they could be a problem. So that's my thoughts. The Knicks, love it. Celtics are going to be tough in the East. That's going to be the team that we got to beat in the East if we're going to want to make it to the finals. And in the West, sleeper, hot take, Clippers. I think they're going to go to the finals.
Okay. I don't necessarily know if that Clippers is a hot take, but I'll give you that one. Couple thoughts. First of all, you put some respect on Julius Randle's name. Okay, let's get that out the way. Let's get that out the way first and foremost, because let's be honest. Okay, for the last, I'm gonna say 3 to 4 seasons, this guy has been an Iron Man. Played majority of the games, averaged 25 and 10. Very few guys are able to do in this league, and has been like the workhorse for the Knicks until we signed Captain Clutch, Mr. Jalen Brunson. Okay, so Yes, are all your points valid? Yes, he needs to do it in the postseason. But now he's not going to be facing the doubles and triple teams that he was seeing previously, because you can't just double and triple team him, because you leave single coverage on Jalen and he's going to torch you too. Okay? The roster is constructed in a way that there's a lot more ball movement, a lot more guys are touching the rock. We got shooters, like legit shooters throughout the team that can knock down shots. And then on the defensive side, the trade basically was like the perfect magic ingredient we needed to put us over the top. OG just, and I love RJ. That was a guy we drafted. The highest lottery pick the Knicks have had since Patrick Ewing. And we had to move him. He just didn't fit. To have another guy that needed the ball to be successful and put up shots, it just wasn't going to work with Jalen and Julius. So OG coming in, perfect fit. We're a little banged up right now, but it just goes to show you how great a player number 11. Yep, got it on. Number 11 is that we're still tops in the East. Number 3 right now, ranked in the East in standings, and only a half game behind Milwaukee. Okay? We're coming. All right? It's going to be Boston, New York, top 2 seats. Okay? And honestly, outside of Boston, I'm not worried about nobody on this list. I could care less, because they're when it comes down to the grit, tenacity, and just scoring and holding teams under 100 points, nobody's doing that. Okay, so that's the Knicks. Oh, that's my thoughts on the Knicks. As far as some other notable things on this list, I'm actually really happy to see where both Minnesota and Oklahoma City are power ranking wise on this list. They've both been balling out. SGA is legit, man. This guy, if you didn't have him, if you didn't know, now you know. Okay, this guy definitely has been balling out. He is the engine for that team, and should definitely get MVP consideration. And then same with Minnesota. They, top ranked team in the West for a lot of the season. Ant-Man is just different. And me personally, as a basketball fan, I look forward to having Oklahoma City and Minnesota go at it for the next, handful of years. That's going to be prime time, game time to watch. I do like your surprise, despite what I said, I do like your Clippers take. They just, the trade for James, and then the reorg of how Russ is, coming off the bench as 6-man. It kind of frees up Kawhi and PG to do what they need to do, and it's clicking, man. It's really clicking. I don't necessarily know if they're gonna beat Denver, until they do it. I'm not going to say they can do it, but I think the West is a little more top heavy, and it's going to be a little harder for them to get out of it, considering we just, you got Denver, you got Minnesota, you got Oklahoma City. They're all playing damn near playoff basketball right now. They're gearing up. The top teams are separating in the West, and they're putting some distance. So it should be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just looking at the standings right now, the Thunder they're tied for the number 1 seed with Minnesota. But if the playoffs started today, just hypothetically, I think the Denver Nuggets would have a harder road than the Clippers. So right now, Denver's in the 4 seed, so that means they would play Sacramento, which we saw what Sacramento did against the Warriors last season in the playoffs. I'm talking about all-star snubs. Yeah. Sabonis, Fox. I think they could give work to Denver. Will Denver win? Yeah, I think Denver could pull it out. But that's a tough road, right? You face them, and then after that, you either face the winner of Oklahoma, Dallas?
Yeah.
Or you face the winner of Minnesota Pelicans? which again I think Minnesota's a tough team too. So you end up having to face the 1 or 2 seed, where the Clippers in the first round they got the Suns. And listen, we could talk about KD being one of the best basketball players on the planet, but I don't think that's gonna that group of fellas is gonna gel come playoff time. I don't think so.
I'm not feeling it.
So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm Clippers.
The problem out west is that nobody is equipped to handle the best player on the planet, the Joker. So that is why nobody's going to be able to stop the Nuggets. The Timberwolves have Rudy Gobert. Who else in the West that's a big man that really scares you, that's going to be able to shut him down? And who can shut him down in general? Passing, rebounding, points, it doesn't matter. He can beat you in so many different ways. And he's got the supporting cast too. The supporting cast are very effective defensively, so that they don't cost you too much at either end of the court.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Minnesota is and they're ranked, I think, top 5 in defense overall. But you got Gobert, who if they do go up against the Nuggets, can give Joker a little bit of trouble. But he does so much than just back to the basket, score points. He facilitates the offense. He rebounds. He gets other guys involved. And Minnesota, when it gets to crunch time, Gobert becomes a little bit of a liability because he's not guarding past the free throw line. You know what I mean? And Joker has proven he's also can hit the long ball too. The thing why I'm not really on Minnesota go super super far is they're very ISO heavy. If it's not Ant-Man creating and getting shots, it's their offense really doesn't have any rhyme or reason to it. It's all right, I'm gonna go, and then Cat's gonna go, and then we just kind of there's not a lot of creativity to their offense. So I think that's kind of what limits them there. And Denver does have that continuity factor. It's a lot of these guys have been playing together for a few years now, and you literally have best player in basketball on your team. So until someone can knock Denver off to like where they're not in the playoffs anymore, I'm not rooting against them in the West, to be honest.
Listen. Pat, to your point about who can, this Joker is, he is the best player on the planet right now. Who can in the West? Who can bang with them? I think the Clippers can. I think they have enough depth at center that they can throw different looks at the Joker. Mm-hmm. So it's not like these other teams that, like you said, Gobert's going to have to be the guy that's going to have to stop Joker. In this case, the Clippers have Zubac. They have Plumlee. They have Feast. They have three centers that they could just throw at Joker that can defend at different levels. Mm-hmm. Like Zubac can defend the post. Plumlee can stretch out a little bit. Feast can stretch out a little bit. So I think they have a team that's built to not stop the Joker, but frustrate him or limit some of the things that he can do. So I think they just have the team dynamic that can go against what the Nuggets bring to the table that other teams don't have. No, there's not one player that you're going to be able to put on Joker unless it's a healthy Embiid, because we've seen Embiid when they go head to head, he gives Joker work. But there's nobody else like that in the NBA that can do that. So when I look at a team, that's why I say, hot take, I think the Clippers match up very well with the Nuggets in a 7-game series. And just mind you, outside of the Joker, they got other guys that can defend too. We're not going to sleep on Kawhi Leonard. He's a defender, and they got him playing the 4. You got PG. Like, what are we talking about here? They got a solid core over there, and nobody's really talking about it. But that's why I say I think they could be the team that could beat the Nuggets. Because if they can't beat the Nuggets, I don't see any other team in the West beating them. So,
yes, if Plumlee can get out and run and make Joker run with him and get easy buckets down the other end, that would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got depth at that center position. If you look at all the other teams in the West, like, they don't really have depth at that position. And if we're talking about the Timberwolves, I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is gonna offense, I don't think he can hold Joker's jockstrap. And I don't think Gobert's going to be able to do it either. So, again, that I think that the Clippers are well equipped to compete with the Nuggets and possibly do some crazy things. But outside of that, I don't see it.
Thanks. Yeah, Sean, you mentioned All-Star snubs. The official rosters are out. Some mainstays, some guys that have been there multiple times. We also got a lot of fresh faces on both All-Star teams. Pat, how you like the All-Star selections? Who do you think got snubbed? What are your thoughts?
I am okay with the All-Star selections, let's say that. I think they got most of them right. There's only so many positions to go around for the All-Star team, so it's going to happen every single year, especially when there's so much talent across the NBA. It's amazing. Like, you look to every single squad in every single market, and they all have their superstar, and that's terrific for the game right now. So for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, Jalen got his All-Star nod, which was the most important thing to me. But Sean mentioned it before, Fox and Sabonis, that team is just super underrated and super underappreciated. And I think we're going to find it come playoff time again that people are just going to sleep on them and they're going to surprise people in the first round, maybe even in the second round. But they're just supremely talented. Fox can run the floor faster than maybe anyone else on the planet. And Sabonis just does everything else right. Rebounding, points, passing. He's an excellent player. The other player that I would have liked to have seen make the All-Star team is Trae Young. Trae Young's having a really nice year. He's a little underappreciated because the Hawks don't win a whole lot. But he's scoring a lot. He's averaging a double-double, I believe, 20 points, 10 assists. So he's doing his thing over there.
Yeah, Sean?
I think it goes. One thing I'll say is it goes back to what you said. I think that when it comes to like these All-Star games, there's so many good players, and there's only a certain number of spots to fill. Obviously, just like any All-Star game in any sport, people get selected and then they're injured by the time the game comes, so then somebody gets an opportunity. So a lot of these snubs may possibly end up being in the All-Star game anyway, just based off of injuries. But yeah, I agree, man. Like Fox not being in the West, the bonus not being in the West. Like I just look at it just feels like a popularity contest, to be honest with you. So I look at the bigs in the West. I'm taking Sabonis over Anthony Davis. I'm doing that. Like he should be in there. Mm-hmm. Like the man that he averages a double as well. You listen, Pat. You know very well. You go to try to bet Sabonis's double. What? It's like minus 1,000. And anytime you see something like that, it's usually only for Joker. Like it's usually only for Joker. It's like you can't bet a double for Joker. You might as well just bet triple doubles. That's it. So again, Sabonis not being there, Fox not being there. Fox is tough, because you look at the guard position. You got Devin Booker in there. You got Steph Curry. Tough. It's tough for me. So I think that's how I feel about the West. From an East perspective, I'm okay with it because from a guard, like you mentioned Trae, but there's a lot of good guards. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got our guy Jalen Brunson, you got Tyrese Maxey, which we've talked about. He's the future right now. So it's tough. I would say the only thing I'm really, really not happy about, we talked about it before, Jalen Brunson should be a starter. Damian Lillard is only there because he's Damian Lillard. There's no way you're telling me that he's having a better year than Jalen Brunson right now. There's no way. I don't care how you slice it. There's no way you're telling me he's having a better year than Jalen Brunson. So I'm okay with it, top to bottom. It's not bad. Like I said, there's only a certain number of spots, so some folks are going to get snubbed. But I think injury-wise, you're going to see some pieces be moved, especially with Julius Randle. He's not going to play in the All-Star game, but he's an Eastern Conference reserve. So who's going to replace him? So yeah, I'm okay with it. It's just frustrating, especially as Knicks fans. Like Jalen should be it, and he's not getting the respect that he deserves.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that's kind of like been the whole narrative of the season is like Jalen's not gotten the respect that he deserves. I mean, he should be in MVP considerations the way he's been playing. I agree with like most of what you guys are saying. Definitely the two guys out in Sacramento should got consideration. And even though I don't really like the dude, Trae Young putting up 27 and damn near 9 assists a game. Should be an all-star, but man, fuck Trae Young. Any case, I ain't gonna forget that playoff series, man. Ice Trae rubbing his shoulders in the garden, man. Fuck out of here. But yeah, to your point, Sean, a lot of guys, a lot of injuries that are gonna open up some spots. I mean, just in the East alone, we're gonna have 3 between like Embiid and Randall. And possibly who else is kind of injured? Halliburton might not play. He's been dealing with some injuries too. So that's 3 spots right there. You can get some guys who are on the cusp to play as reserves. But yeah, I think overall it's pretty solid. You do have some favoritism, obviously, like the whole Dame Lillard situation, like. Player vote, Brunson got more votes than Lillard. Coaches vote, Brunson got more votes than Lillard. He won that fan vote, and as we know, fans are what drives these leagues. So of course you gotta put him in there for that fact alone. But I'm actually really happy that a lot of guys that are first time All-Stars are getting a chance to shine. We talked about Maxey, Halliburton. Your man Pablo from Orlando, to see an Orlando Magic player in the All-Star game. I mean, that's pretty big. It goes to show.
Tracy McGrady?
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady was the last one?
Yeah. Since Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
On the West, SGA getting the start. Yes, should he be starting over Steph? I don't necessarily think so, but he's putting in that work this season. I mean,
why not? Why not shouldn't he be? Tell me more about that. Why shouldn't he be starting over Steph Curry? I guarantee you Steph Curry's getting the votes because he's Steph Curry.
I mean, he's also leading the league in 3-pointers made and 3-point percentage. So I mean, he's doing regular Steph Curry things. He's still top 10 in scoring, but I get it. SGA statistically is having a little bit better of a year, but still, it's the GOAT. Like one of the GOATs is what we're talking about. And I get again. It's not like he's having a down year. Is basically what I'm saying. It's basically business as usual. So I get it. Yeah, I think overall it's a pretty solid list. I'm not too upset about it. So, but transition time. Our favorite segment. Is it Feast or is it Famine? Mr. Chino, what do you got?
I got some good ones for us. So we're gonna stay on the topic of All-Star games, and I got 2 for you. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the lineup, and then you tell me Feast or Famine. All right. So Western Conference All-Star starters in 2004 versus the current that we were just talking about. So Eastern Conference starters in 2004. You got Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace versus Dame Lillard, Tyrese, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. Feast or famine? Who you feasting on? Pat.
I'm going to feast on today's lineup, and it's not even close, honestly. Yeah, I think there's huge problems in the middle for the 2004 squad. I love Ben Wallace, and he's a proven defender, and he could shut down, some of the best offensive players of all time. But these are different offensive players of all time. This is a different generation of talent and skill. Ben Wallace never saw what Joel Embiid is capable of. From the 3-point line all the way into the bucket, he could do everything. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I got today's squad by about 20.
What you got?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm giving today's squad the upper hand. I mean, we're talking AI, T Mac, Vince. Like, yeah, you might got me on Ben Wallace. Like, Joel's gonna feast. Joel's gonna feast. But them three, like, we could just go down the line. Like, AI is cooking Halliburton. Like that's a feast right there. T Mac is cooking Dame Lillard. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, seriously. I mean, Giannis, yeah, you got an advantage there, and you got an advantage with Embiid, but nah, like, just the first, like, guard to forward, like, the first three, like, nah, give me Vince, give me T Mac, give me AI, 3-2. I'm going feast on what is it? Going famine. Like, nah, we going with the 04 team.
So I hear you both, and I'm actually in between. I'm not feasting or famine on it, because to your point, Chris, like, yes, I think 2024 squad will dominate the front court. Like, Giannis and Joel will dominate Jermaine O'Neal and Ben Wallace.
For sure.
They will dominate. But on the flip side of that, Pat, I'm sorry. What Chris just said, AI is giving Dame Lillard work.
Cooking him.
He's giving him work. He's cooking him. Tracy McGrady is giving Halliburton work.
Cooking him.
And Vince Carter being one of my favorite players of all time in his prime, low key is cooking. I'm just saying. I'm in between. I'm an old school guy. I would, if I had to pick, I'd pick 2004 squad. But yes, to your point, Pat, there's some things on the 20.
Pat, and you know, because I said on this podcast, I said Jason Tatum is a top 5 player, and I'm even saying Vince Carter is cooking him. So
absolutely, you guys are smoking that strong stuff this morning. What is wrong with you? Oh my God. Vince Carter did nothing back then. He was on a shit Raptors team, but still he couldn't carry him nowhere. Jason Tatum is carrying this great Boston Celtics team. And then what? AI's going to what? Shoot jumpers all day? T-Mac's going to shoot jumpers all day? They can't finish at the rim?
You stop. Don't do that.
Do not disrespect.
Bye, guys. Bye. What's that? 7-8 blocks between two guys?
Let's just clarify something here for anyone that's listening. Yes, Tracy McGrady may be a guard, but my man is low key 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, he is throwing it down on Giannis and Embiid. Okay. So I don't
get out of here.
He is throwing it down.
Hang up.
And listen, yes, you may be right. You know, Vince didn't do what you're saying that Jason is doing, but in his prime, he's jumping over Giannis.
That's it, though. Jumping. That's it. That's all he can do.
Listen, 2004 is getting work. I hear you. So, now we go to the West, which is a good one. So, you feasting on? Are you feasting or are you famining on the 2024 lineup? So, 2024 lineup is Luka, SGA, LeBron, KD, and Joker. In 2004, you had the franchise. You had the Mamba. Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, and Yao Ming. Chris, what you think?
I mean, I'm again feast on the 04, man, because like outside, let's take Steve Francis out, because if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, he only scored 2 points in that game.
You can't take him out.
If we go position by position, okay, Luka and Steve Francis, because let's be honest, Luka is going to play the point. Yeah, that's not a fair matchup. Luka's going to dominate there. But I mean, outside of that, man, maybe SGA is probably going to dominate that matchup too. But I mean, outside of that, you're talking Kobe, Garnett, Duncan, and Yao Ming? We talking 4 Hall of Famers? In their primes. Remember, 04, they're in their primes. We're talking about a LeBron and KD that are like 15, 20 years in. Okay? So, no. Like, yeah, Joker is going to get Yao. Okay? But again, we got that middle 3, man. Garnett, Duncan, and Kobe? Nah. Yeah, nah. I'm feasting on the 04.
Where you at?
Kris, I am totally with you. I'm on the 04 squad as well. You just made the point, we could take Steve, the franchise, out of there, and those 4 players might beat these 5 players. Like, those 4 players are amazing, some of the best of all time. Let Kobe run the point, let Kobe guard 2 guys. It doesn't matter. This is probably one of the best 4 guys ever assembled on a squad of all time. Pretty special. I forgot for a little while how good Yao was and how unstoppable sometimes he was. And then to have, 2 other 7-footers right next to him that could score the rock and defend, that team would be unstoppable, I think. Sean, what do you think?
I'm feasting on the 04 squad. I think, Kris, to your point, we're talking about taking, if it was prime LeBron, I'd maybe teeter a little bit. But we're talking about LeBron at 39, right? He's not. Like, you got Mamba. Nobody, like you said, Pat, he'll guard 2 people.
Not only that,
on that.
prime Mamba.
Nobody's guarding him.
No.
Prime Mamba. Nobody's even guarding him. Right? That's prime Mamba after they won the chips in LA. Like, we're talking about prime Mamba. No one on that roster on the 20 in that lineup is guarding Mamba.
No.
And then low-key, people forget that KG, I know everybody talks about LeBron can guard every single position. KG was the first that was ever mentioned about. Like, he's 7 foot, and he played the 3, but he guarded every position. Like, back in the day, I remember listening to his podcast, he was talking about how back in the day when he used to have to guard Jordan, like, the coach said, hey, I need you to guard Jordan today.
Yo, you just said he had to guard Jordan. What are we talking about? You have to guard Jordan.
And you're 7 foot playing a 3, and you have to guard guards. So, I think this one, like I said, last one, I'm in the middle, but this one, we'll take 4. We'll take franchise off, because he was only in it because he's in the dunk contest. Let's just be real. And then you would take that 4. That 4 is beating that 5. We would play undermanned.
Yep.
It's not even close.
Yep.
All right. Staying on the basketball topic, I sent this to you all the other day, and I almost wanted to throw my phone across the street. Is Jordan not a good defender? Feast or famine?
I mean, this could be the shortest feast or famine ever. I mean, of course he was a good defender. Anyone that says he wasn't a good defender is just posting it for clicks. It's so silly. Just watch any video. The guy works and works and works. He never gives up easy possessions. Great defender. One of the best defenders. Kris, what do you think?
What are we talking about here, man? When you sent me that, I was like, what? This is clickbait if I've ever seen it in my life. Because, my man was all defensive player in the NBA 10 times. He was MVP and defensive player multiple. He was defensive player one time, and he was MVP multiple times. Why? Because he got crossed by AI one time in his whole career. That's what makes him not a good defender. Come on, stop. What are we doing? Led the league in steals one year. Put the clamps on you and would drop 30 on your head. Come on, stop.
Correction, drop 40.
Listen, 40, 50,
40 and defend the best player.
40, 50, whatever. Come on, stop it.
Yeah, it's clickbait. I said that to y'all. I literally was about to break something because I'm like, this dude, Rasheed Wallace, must be smoking the hajiji because there is no, on any planet at any time, a day, year, whatever. There's no way you're convincing me that Michael Jordan wasn't a good defender. He literally was scoring points and guarding the best player, and then he'd tell Scotty, "Hey, Scotty, tap in because I gotta go drop 40 real quick because somebody's got to score the point."
Mm-hmm.
So the man was taking breaks during games, but come on, there's no way you could tell me. There's no way. Negative 100%, you could tell me that he's not a good. So I wanted to joke around with that one.
That's crazy.
Back to football. Feast or famine? You feasting on CMC or LT in their prime?
CMC or LT? Prime LT. I mean, prime LT was a problem. I'm not even gonna lie. And like a lot of those Chargers years, like it was pretty much just LT. Yeah, it was just pretty much LT. Whether it's running the ball, catching it out the backfield, hell, blocking, like whatever you needed him to do, he would do it. I don't know. I think we don't get Christian McCaffrey if we don't have LT first. So I mean, they're kind of like in very similar molds. I mean, you might even want to throw like a Marshall Faulk in there too, because they're like guys that like were the first to like start catching out the backfield and like racking up huge like receiving numbers as a running back. So I don't know. Give me the OG. Give me LT. I'll feast on LT. It's close though. It's very close.
So I am going to be feasting on my man Christian McCaffrey, the MVP of the NFL this year. His father, Ed McCaffrey, hell of a football player in his own right. I believe he was a draft pick of the Giants. Christian McCaffrey, well, just like you said, Chris, I think he's just the next generation of back, and I think we just see each generation of back get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. LT was obviously very special running the football. Him and Antonio Gates were a two-man show over there, I think, and he was catching the rock a ton, scoring touchdowns. But I think Christian McCaffrey is more refined as a route runner and maybe a little bit more dangerous as a receiver. And I can't speak to LT being a great blocker, but I know that CMC is a great blocker in pass protection. And that's one of my favorite parts about his game is just his ability to stick his nose in there with anyone that's coming in through the backfield. Christian McCaffrey by a hair, just because he's that next generation of incredibly physically gifted running back.
Yeah, this one was a good one because it is very tough. For me, like if we're thinking about just strictly being a running back, I'm taking LT all day because the man dominated when it came to that perspective. Like he yards, I think rushing yards, the most he's ever had in a season is like 1,800.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a season where he had like 28 rushing touchdowns in a season. If we're just talking about running the rock, LT. Now, if we're talking about, like you said, like the dynamic of players now at the running back position that do both, I would have to give Christian McCaffrey the slight upper hand on that because I think he's a better receiver than LT. I think yards from scrimmage, he's better than LT. He's had bigger games, bigger seasons than LT. I think it was that year, the 1 year in Carolina. He had over 2,000 all-purpose yards, and it was 1,000 at each thing, like 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving. Like, it's close, but I would have to, in this situation, if we're taking everything into account, I'm feasting on CMC. Now, if it was just a running back position, then I'd probably say LT. So,
yeah, and just
last but not least,
and just a quick note. There was a season where LT ran for 1,600 yards and caught for 700 yards receiving. So I mean, he was doing it. I think he was the first of that mold that was like a really dangerous receiver out the backfield.
And guess what? He never won anything. So suck it, LT. You suck.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if CMC gets it this year. But you know,
That's right.
Well, like I said, you suck, LT. You did all that stuff and didn't win anything. Screw you. All right, sorry.
Yeah. Giants fan, my head went right to Lawrence Taylor. I was like, Lawrence Taylor's better than Christian McCaffrey, of course.
Lawrence Taylor,
Not
sure.
that LT. Not the best defensive player ever, in my opinion. But last but not least, we'll end on a fun note. There's a funny conversation that was being had. If you had to pick a superstar, entertainer, if you could pick anyone to perform at the Super Bowl, are you feasting on Taylor Swift or are you feasting on Beyonce?
Only two options?
Fun. Or the field, whatever.
The field? Literally anyone else?
Well, Chris is thinking though. Look, Chris is thinking about it.
No, it's funny because I actually, believe it or not, I actually had this conversation. Oh man. What's up, bud?
Hello.
Hey, Bash. Who you picking, Pat? You're going first.
I have to pick one. You can't just say the field. It's Beyonce, man. I am so fed up with Taylor Swift. I do not want to see her for a second of the Super Bowl game. Every time she's on the camera, I think I'm going to take a sip of beer. So maybe I won't remember how many times Taylor Swift was actually on the TV screen.
Yeah, just make it a drinking game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Actually, you know what? We're going to do that.
Maybe Beyonce.
We're doing that at the Super Bowl. Mark that down now.
Yep. Yeah, so like, you know, truth be told, I was in New Orleans this past weekend. One of my Uber drivers, huge Beyonce fan, and they were saying, hey, there's only two people to ever shut down the Superdome outside of the Saints in the Super Bowl. One, Taylor Swift. Two, the Queen Beyonce. And they said it exactly that way. So, yeah, I'm gonna roll with Pat. I'm gonna be like, give me B-Day all day. Fuck Taylor Swift. Get her out of here. I told you about the conspiracy. The NFL, they're trying to boost their revenue. All right now, and I'm not having it. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to feast on Queen Bee. But it was just funny because it was talking about, like I was saying, you know, you think about money, revenue, and demographic. Like right now in today's, and it was on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. They were talking about how, like, in today's world, like Taylor Swift, just based on her demographic, is moving the needle. Like, you got people that are going to watch football just to watch football. Now, and Ocho Cinco's argument was, if you take Beyonce, and let's just say hypothetically, she was dating Travis Kelce, would she do the same? Would she move the needle the same as Taylor Swift?
No.
No, unfortunately.
I don't think so.
Yeah, unfortunately. Obviously, I know that. You know, I'm a big fan of Beyonce, but like, in this day and age, demographic, Swifties, influencers.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking even prime Beyonce, like let's say her Lemonade album, which was, you know, some time ago now. Yeah. I don't think social media was even like at the height that it's at back when that album came out. So like, you know, she's got that to compete with. Whereas like Taylor has all the 25 and unders like basically on lockdown. So, you know, and let's be real, the the untapped you know, predominantly white demographic that doesn't watch football at all is tuning in to watch NFL games. Like, Yeah, I don't think Beyonce is doing that.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of some of the point. It's like Beyonce fans, they're watching football.
Yeah,
they're already watching football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where the Swifties, they're not watching football. They could care less.
Nah.
They could care less. It's a round ball? No, it's not a round ball.
No. It's like
pig skin. Has laces on it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll watch it with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Moving the needle.
Moving the needle. So. All right. How we want to wrap up with? Let's wrap up with our bets for the week. Pat, what do you got? Give us the parlays and all the lotto picks, everything we need to know to make our bets this week.
Alrighty, guys, get your pens and your pads ready. Write this stuff down. You're gonna win a lot of money with all this stuff. Okay. All right. So all of these odds are gonna be through DraftKings. Okay. This is who I'm betting through. So we're gonna start out in the NFL. I am loving Isaiah Pacheco's over on rushing yards. It's currently set at 67.5 with DraftKings. I'm going to play that up to 68.5, but at 69 and over, I'm staying away. So as long as it stays at 68.5 and under, hammer that thing. All right, now we're going to move on to the NBA. My best bet for today is unfortunately against the Knicks. I'm sorry, Chris. Today I have Anthony Davis going for 25 points and 10 rebounds, coming at minus 105 odds. I'm going to throw in that he's going to have over 1.5 blocks, and that brings me up to plus 188 odds. I'm going to be betting that today, but that's not the only action I'm taking on the Knicks game today. The Knicks game today is going to be my parlay or long shot. My parlay or long shot call is always going to be plus 1,000 or more. We're going to do Dante D to have 5+ three-pointers. The guy shot 46 three-pointers in the last 3 games, Chris. Can you believe that?
No, that's crazy. He's been on fire.
Well, it's insane. Josh Hart's going to have at least 8 rebounds. The Knicks are going to win the money line. We're going to have LeBron with at least 6 rebounds. We're going to jump over to Ice Trey to have at least 3 three-pointers and to have 10+ assists. I placed this bet this morning. It was coming in at plus 1,100 for the 6-leg parlay.
Nice.
One more point, just because our boys' odds just jumped up a ton over the last couple of days. Mr. Jalen Brunson's MVP odds went from plus 8,000 to plus 4,500. So toss some money on it now before it gets even less odds. Jump on it. But that's what I got for this week, guys. I'll have better picks for the Super Bowl. A lot of NFL next week.
Cool. I like it. Hey, and we definitely got to talk about the fact that the Knicks could potentially go 10-0 today, being the longest win streak of any team in the NBA this season. So just keep that in mind. All right, Sean, we got anything else?
Good, man. Yeah, gonna watch some NBA today. I'm gonna check out the Pro Bowl because I'm a huge fan of flag football, and I love the fact that they're incorporating it because flag football is blowing up. I know me and Pat, we played flag a long time ago together, and where it is today is a totally different space. And I'm gonna check it out. Fun.
Good stuff, Pat. You as enthused about the flag football game today?
I wish I could say I was. Unfortunately, I think the NFL is kind of blowing this Pro Bowl thing. I think they need to think of a more creative way to do this entire weekend or get rid of it. But I will be watching all the NBA action. I'll be jumping on to watch the third day at Pebble Beach, and there's a few hockey games or maybe NHL All-Star break, actually.
All-Star break is this weekend.
Sounds good. Yeah, for Mr. Chino. For me, I got a little birthday celebration going on later today, but I will have the Knicks and Lakers tuned in and dialed in. I'll be locked in to see my man Jalen do it again and extend it to 10 game win streak. So
let's go.
Let's go.
Money line. Next money line. Next money line.
Yeah. Remember, everybody, we're the Feast and Famine Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, share with all your friends. And until the next time, we'll catch you.